Although Sheldon's harshest life experiences, which shaped him, were avoided by young Sheldon, Season 6 also revealed that this would no longer be the case. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like up. Though the death of his father George isn't the worst plot in Season 6, The Big Bang Theory's narrative had hinted that Sheldon's history, which greatly shaped him, would have been addressed in its spin-off prequel Young Sheldon. The way that young Sheldon portrayed George Cooper, Lance Barber, was quite different from how Sheldon's father was portrayed on The Big Bang Theory. On that show, Sheldon's father was constantly portrayed as everything but a loving family guy, and Mary and Sheldon often brought out his flaws. Though the CBS prequel will ultimately need to address George's cheating scandal and sad death, the worst narrative of Young Sheldon Season 6 will be another one. The protagonist of Young Sheldon, while often being misinterpreted by others, generally handled situations with optimism, particularly when they included science. In fact, Sheldon's youthful fascination in science never vanished. Even if some of the rejections he encountered in the Young Sheldon must-watch episodes prior to TBBD taught him the role that he would later play in the original comedy. But Sheldon's most recent endeavor, trying to build a database of scientific grants that had him so thrilled about the possibility of advancing research, came into difficulties in legalese and a whole hoo-ha. A Young Sheldon Season 6 episode gate. The news raises the possibility that Young Sheldon Season May 6 deal with a different, darker plotline unrelated to George's death. Despite how exciting Sheldon found the idea of creating a scientific funding database, the project he had in mind was ultimately ruined by the competing interests of Dr. Linkletter, President Hagemeyer, and Sheldon's own parents. This suggests that rather than young Sheldon's George's cheating scandal, the main calamity of Season 6 of Young Sheldon may have to do with Sheldon's loss of innocence and faith in the good intentions of others. In fact, Sheldon realized that his interests weren't actually the same as anybody else's when other people cared about something he considered to be so unimportant as money, which may have been the catalyst for his frequent disappointment in other people. Ultimately, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory was enthusiastic about following schedules for everything, not only because he loved rules but also because he distrusted people because their interests rarely aligned with his, which meant that any interaction would almost always end in conflict. For him, science can also be ruined by this. What would later become young Sheldon's worst traits in The Big Bang Theory, such as his rudeness or his unwillingness to give in when his interests collided with others, began with this development. The saddest plot point of Young Sheldon Season 6 is that it was all initiated by Sheldon's loss of innocence. Since Young Sheldon has always portrayed itself as a cheerful comedy about a charming family, it is difficult to address the darker plotlines from The Big Bang Theory since they would inevitably affect the tone of the show. However, young Sheldon cannot forever dodge the worst experiences that deeply impacted Sheldon, exactly because they molded him into his The Big Bang Theory incarnation. No matter how much they cast the tale in shadows, they cannot be ignored. The prequel will hopefully eventually reveal how Sheldon transforms into the character he becomes in The Big Bang Theory, thanks to young Sheldon's scientific grants database and Sheldon's stories about losing his innocence.